at a crowded and very noisy mix here at GDC, and we caught up with Drinkbox Studios to learn a little bit more about your next project, Severed. That's playable here behind us. We can't see anything because there's so many people, but what kind of game is it? If you give us the quick pitch.
The game, it's kind of like a dungeon crawler, but with touch screen controls. So right now, you can play it on the Vitas here. And it kind of has a bit of exploration, a bit of RPG elements, but it's essentially a dungeon crawler. And the battles, you can rotate, so it's like a 360 sort of battle with multiple enemies. And yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. It's really bizarre, like a surreal sort of world, and very interesting visuals, I think.
So I remember when it was announced, and you talked about the Vita, that this is a game that sort of was designed with the Vita in mind. That's really sort of with that in mind. What is it about the Vita and the game that sort of marries well together?
Well, the touch controls is perfect, and we've had a good luck with the Vita with our previous titles, with Blobs, the Blob games, and Guacamelee had a really good reception there. And we were just thinking of like an idea that excited us, not platform first, but the idea first. And one of these was doing a touch control or exploring sort of that. So when we started developing the Severed world, we started gravitating towards the Vita because of that, because it just lends itself so well for that.
So what is the sort of the trick to that? Because touch controls can sometimes be seen as a little bit of a casual thing, and not sort of what core gamers want to do. What's your approach there? And
well, I think it's fun to like touch control, get the input, and if you do it right, I think there's a lot of richness to it that you can get to in a game content without having to just put it off as casual or whatever. I mean, what makes it casual is not the input, it's the actual game. Like if it's a hardcore game, it doesn't matter what the input is. And this is not a platforming game, this is a sword fighting game, so it just makes sense that you use sort of those strokes, just feel better than pressing buttons and directions. So I think like that excited us at the beginning, so we're carrying that through the project.
So one thing that sort of carries through all your titles is the sort of the design and the humor, and that's certainly something that I feel is there in Severed too. How would you describe sort of that design philosophy that you have in the studio?
Well, we like really colorful palettes, and in general just like a richness of color, and definitely Severed has that. But Severed is a bit of a darker tone than the Blobs and Guacamelee, which were more campy. This one is, the themes are darker than that, but the presentation isn't necessarily off-putting. Like you still feel like it's still like in a Drinkbox sort of universe in a weird way because of the stylization of it. But I think it's a very different game than what we've done before, which is really new and exciting and difficult, but a good challenge.
So it's playable here. Obviously, it's early. Are you sort of gauging how people interact with the game and looking at how they react to what you've done so far?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of these events are great because you get like actual feedback directly from people, and everybody has different play styles, and we immediately know what's not clear enough and what's working, what's not working. But in general, the reception has been positive of what we have so far. But there's still a long list that we have that we want to make sure we get through that. But yeah, I think people are responding well. It's a kind of a weird game, so it's good to see that people are actually following up on this, which is really exciting.
Speaking of that long list, sort of the road ahead, what do you have left to do, and what's next?
Well, we're fleshing out the rest of the levels, the rest of the world, balancing, tuning, and making decisions of can we finish what we plan to, or do we need to cut something? Is something need to be better execution and all that. At the same time, it's just we're like in the middle of that production. We want to finish by the summer, so it's just that part of it where like one day you feel great and then the next day you feel like you have no idea what you're doing, and it's just balancing that and just trying to get feedback from people and just trying to look at the big picture and see if this is actually what we set up to execute.
So is it exclusive to Vita, or is it just Vita first?
It's actually, I don't know. I think it's just Vita for now. That's what we're focusing on. Yeah.
It's nice to hear. Get some love for the Vita.
Yeah. We love Vita. Our Vita fans, have been good with our.
Thank you so much for.
Thanks, Ben.